Let's talk about joy. The kind of joy that shows up out of nowhere and makes your chest feel really light. The kind that makes you forget time for even just a second. Most people say that they want that, but if we're honest, at least if I'm honest, for the longest time, I don't think that I actually knew how to let it in. That's the truth. So, maybe this is you where you finally get a moment of peace, but you're thinking, okay, but like, what's next? What's coming next? Or maybe you get good news and you start waiting for something to fall apart, something to go wrong. It's like you have these moments where you're able to laugh with people and you're able to be at peace, but then it's like this part of you that's in the background that's like always trying to pull you back, like, don't get too comfortable here. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's you if you clicked on this video. And I want to talk about what that is. I want to talk about how I started to shift it for myself. Okay, so just think about this for a second. If growing up, every time that you got excited and something bad followed, whether that's like a fight or some form of disappointment, someone ruining the mood, someone ruining the vibe, what happens is your body connects joy with loss. Okay, that's what happens. These neurons that fire together, wire together. That's the saying, okay? Maybe your family called you too much, or maybe they rolled your eyes. Maybe your family called you too much, or they rolled their eyes whenever you were happy. What happens in this case is your system learns like, hey, you got to tone it down or you're going to lose love. Like, you're going to lose closeness and connection with the people that you're closest to. And the thing is, your brain doesn't think this on purpose. This is just an automatic process. This is just something that happens. This is just conditioning. And so these are just some examples, but if you've had any type of upbringing like this, ultimately what happens is the moment that things start getting too good, your body slams on the brakes. Okay? And it's trying to protect you from that drop that you remember from when you were younger. And so this is why sometimes peace feels boring. This is why sometimes happiness feels suspicious. And this is why sometimes you start thinking like this good thing is not going to last. And as I talk about this, it's not uncommon that maybe you start to notice this everywhere. Like, you start to see this pattern show up everywhere. And really my hope is, like, once you notice it, you can shift it, because otherwise it's pretty much impossible to shift what you can't see. Again, my hope is maybe you can start to get to a place where you can finally take a day off or some days off, and you stop feeling restless and you stop feeling like you're wasting time, right? This place that I'm in right now that I'm really, proud of, that I'm happy about is, I can take a compliment without shrugging it away, without laughing it off, without saying something negative to try and like counteract the compliment, right? And this is something that I help my clients with too. And I hope that, this is a place that you can get to. I want amazing things to happen for you. And I don't want you to start planning for how that's going to go wrong. Okay. But when you do that, if that's what you do now, all good, but just understand that's what happens when your nervous system is running old conditioning, old programming, old rules around how you have to stay ready, how you have to stay protecting yourself, how you have to stay on guard. And the thing is, this is the conditioning that probably made sense for a certain season. This is the conditioning that probably got you really far in life. Actually, whatever chaos you may have came up in, staying ready is what got you through it. But now it just keeps you tired. Now it just keeps you tired. The thing is, when you can't let joy in, you end up living in this gray kind of middle emotional ground where nothing is ever great and nothing is ever that bad. Nothing's awful, but you're not fully alive either. And I've seen this in myself, which is why this was so important for me to start working in. I used to think that I was just calm, but in reality, I was just kind of emotionally flat. And maybe this is the space that you've been in, where it's like you do everything that you're supposed to do. You show up, you function, you check the boxes, but inside there's still this quiet, dull ache, like you're missing something that you can't name. And this is what I've been helping my clients with for years. It's where you're successful on the outside, but something is off on the inside. And so this is why you can achieve things, build things. You can even be loved by people, but you can still feel empty at the end of the day. You can still feel even alone at the end of the day. This is because your body, in a way, won't let you have the thing that you've been trying to have. Safety, that feels good. And this, like everything that I'm saying, this is what burns people out. It's not just the constant doing. It's that even when you stop doing, you still can't rest. Even when you get to a certain point in life, you can't stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is, when your body stays on edge, trying to protect you against sudden disappointment or something going wrong, this is what happens. And the truth of the matter is, joy is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable feeling. It's a vulnerable state to be in, right? Especially as a man, being too joyful, it can be seen as being weak, soft. And if you're a woman watching this, it can be seen, the same way, just weakness. To feel joy means that you have to open up. And if you learned at any point over time that opening up usually leads to pain or just negative outcomes, your system's going to start to shut that down pretty fast. And so you might end up saying oh, don't get too excited. Or just I don't get too excited, or I don't get too worked up. And what that really is that's protection happening. Just unconscious protection. You could be trying to beat disappointment to the punch. You could just not feel safe being open about how you actually maybe are excited or how you really feel. And what happens is your body, it tries to block that pain, okay? But in doing that, it also blocks the joy. If you numb one, you numb both. And that's why, some people say that they feel flat or numb, even though nothing is necessarily wrong. Hopefully this is kind of shining a light on some things that maybe you've been trying to work through. What happens is your system gets really good at avoiding the highs and the lows. And this was me, right? I was active duty military for 8 years. Avoid the highs, avoid the lows, just stay focused, just stay locked in, just do your job, regardless of how you feel. And that got me to a certain point. It actually got me pretty far, and I'm very grateful. But you have to unlearn that when you want to welcome intimacy, when you want to welcome in joy. You have to be able to be okay with the highs and the lows. And being cut off from the highs and the lows from too long has you suppressing things that has a bunch of other side effects, okay? But there's a way that you can start to shift this and start letting joy in, and that's where I want to end this video. That's what I want to talk about. You're wired for joy. Joy has always been there. You just have to see and really let your body start to see that joy is a good thing, even if it has a history of it not being that way. And you do this by starting small. Tiny moments that don't freak your system out. Just small moments that stack up over time. Like actually, truly tasting your coffee instead of sipping your coffee while you're speeding down the highway, or scrolling on your phone. Just be present and notice the warmth of the cup and actually taste it. Okay? Or let the sunlight hit your skin, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and just see how that makes you feel. And the next time somebody gives you a compliment, just try saying thank you. Just say thank you. And then take a deep breath in. And it's probably going to feel awkward. But these awkward little pauses, like, are what it takes. These little pauses tell your body, okay, this moment is okay. This is all right. I actually don't have to brace right now. I'm good. And the more that you do that, the more your system starts to learn that not every good thing leads to pain or something bad. Maybe all good things don't actually come to an end. Maybe that's something that you stop saying. Okay? And you just get to a place where you try and let this warmth stay a little bit longer. And so my challenge for you, if this is something that you're working on, is when something good happens, try not analyzing it. Try not planning for anything next. See how long you can notice it. See how long you can sit with it. Feel your shoulders soften a little bit. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, can I let this be good for a few moments before moving on to the next thing? Maybe it's just 5 seconds. But then maybe you stretch that 5 seconds to 10 seconds. And that is how safety with the good and safety with letting joy in starts to heal you over time and reprogram you over time. That's how safety expands, these small moments that compound over time. And this is part of the healing journey. A moment of letting good in for 5 seconds, then 10 seconds, then a minute. Then eventually, joy doesn't feel like this foreign object. Joy doesn't feel like this outside threat that your body has to protect you from. And you being more joyful and good and light can be something that's okay and something that's normal and something that's more of a baseline. I think that a lot of the times we start our healing journey from a place of, well, I just don't want to feel bad anymore. I just want the pain to go away. I just don't want to feel bad. But I think the goal, part of the healing journey, a big part of the healing journey, in my opinion, is learning to stay open when things start to feel good and seeing if you can blow those things up, seeing if you can let more of that in. Because your body can't live in a state of being on defense, of being on guard, being in survival mode, and then also receiving all of these good things. Your body always has to choose. And so it's better to start giving yourself the choice rather than that happening unconscious. So if joy feels weird, awkward, uncomfortable, strange, foreign, or even fragile, that's okay. It just means that your body's been really busy protecting you and it's probably been doing a really good job. And it makes sense when you look at the context. It learns that happiness maybe got you hurt. But the truth is, you're not in that old story anymore. You're here now. You're watching this video now. And your body can start to learn, as you start to help it learn, that the good things can stay and more good can be more than. So as you go about noticing and opening yourself up to joy, your brain might start and try and tell you, like, don't get too happy. It's not going to last. And that's okay. Just smile, welcome that, and even say, I know, yeah, but I'm allowed to enjoy this right now anyway. I'm allowed to enjoy this right now anyway, because we've worked really hard for it. We've shown up for ourselves consistently over the years. And hey, we could let this stay too. So my name is Sid Scott. Thanks for watching another video. I'll see you in the next one.